Welcome to the Wellness Lab Digest, where we help you to absorb powerful, life-changing insights from top wellness experts with our daily bite-sized wellness podcast summaries. Each episode is packed with distilled, powerful takeaways to boost your health and well-being. To support this podcast, please scroll down on whatever app you're listening. Ratings and reviews are helpful. Even better, just send the show to a friend. Check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page, or simply click the Support the Show link below the episode description. Imagine a medieval herb that could hold the key to extending human life. Today we're exploring how an ancient plant remedy might just be the most important drug discovery of our time.
You've definitely got my attention. What kind of herb are we talking about?
Well, it's called Galega officinalis, and European healers used it centuries ago for everything from digestive issues to urinary problems. But here's where it gets fascinating. In 1918, scientists discovered one of its compounds, guanidine, could lower blood sugar.
So this ancient remedy led to something we use today?
Exactly. It led to the development of Metformin, which is now the most widely prescribed diabetes medication in the world. But here's the real kicker. Researchers are finding it might do way more than just control blood sugar.
What kind of additional benefits are we talking about?
Well, picture this. Studies suggest it could potentially prevent cancer, slow cognitive decline, and, get this, even slow down the aging process itself. We're talking about a drug that costs pennies per pill, potentially holding the key to extending human lifespan.
That sounds almost too good to be true. What's the evidence behind these claims?
So let's break it down. In diabetes patients taking metformin, researchers noticed something interesting. These patients were having better health outcomes across the board. They had lower rates of heart disease, certain cancers, and even showed signs of slower cognitive decline.
You know what's really interesting about this? How sometimes the best discoveries happen by accident. Like, they weren't even looking for these benefits initially.
Right. And get this, in some studies, diabetic patients taking metformin were actually living longer than people without diabetes, which is pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. Diabetes typically reduces life expectancy.
That's remarkable. But how exactly does it work? What's the mechanism behind all these benefits?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Metformin appears to work on multiple pathways in the body. It improves how cells respond to insulin, reduces inflammation, and even affects how our bodies process energy at the cellular level.
So it's like a master key that unlocks multiple health benefits?
Exactly. And here's something fascinating. Researchers believe it might mimic some of the beneficial effects of calorie restriction, which is one of the few proven ways to extend lifespan in various species.
That's incredible. But let me play devil's advocate for a moment. If it's so amazing, why isn't everyone taking it?
Well, that's where we need to pump the brakes a bit. Most of these studies have been done in people who already have diabetes or prediabetes. We're still not sure if these benefits would apply to everyone else.
And what about side effects? There must be some downsides.
Actually, that's another surprising aspect. Metformin has a really good safety profile. The main side effects are usually just digestive issues like nausea or diarrhea, and those often improve over time. There is one rare but serious condition called lactic acidosis, but it mainly affects people with kidney problems.
So what's happening now in terms of research? Are scientists actively studying these potential benefits?
Oh, absolutely. There's actually a fascinating study called TAME, Targeting Aging with Metformin, that's looking specifically at whether metformin can delay the onset of age-related diseases. It's the first FDA-approved study to actually target aging as a treatable condition.
That's pretty groundbreaking when you think about it. Treating aging itself as a medical condition rather than just treating individual age-related diseases.
And here's something else to consider. Metformin is incredibly inexpensive. We're talking about a potential anti-aging drug that costs less than a cup of coffee per month. Compare that to some of the newer diabetes drugs that can cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars.
You know what this reminds me of? The whole aspirin story, how it started as a simple pain reliever but turned out to have all these cardiovascular benefits.
That's a perfect comparison. And like aspirin, metformin's full potential wasn't recognized for decades after it was first used. It makes you wonder what other overlooked medications might have hidden benefits we haven't discovered yet.
So what should people take away from all this? Should they be asking their doctors about metformin?
Well, that's where we need to be careful. While the research is exciting, we're not at the point where we can recommend metformin as an anti-aging drug for everyone. But what we can say is that if you're taking it for diabetes, you might be getting some pretty amazing bonus benefits.
And I suppose it's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful medical breakthroughs aren't new at all. They're just new understanding of old medicines.
Exactly. And as we wrap up, here's something to think about. What if the key to extending human health span has been hiding in plain sight all along, derived from a humble medieval herb? It really makes you wonder what other medical treasures might be waiting to be rediscovered.
That's quite a thought to end on. From medieval gardens to modern laboratories, quite a journey for one little plant.
And potentially quite a journey ahead for human longevity. We might be looking at just the beginning of metformin's story. Thank you for listening to the Wellness Lab Digest. If you have received value from the podcast, I have 3 asks of you. 1, share the show with your friends and send them a link to the show. 2, please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening. And last but not least, please let me know what topics you would like us to cover in the future. You can contact me by sending me a message using the Send Us a Text link below the episode description.